cool. Let's go get him again.
This one right here, this one, it's a fragrance that surprisingly, and I mean that surprisingly, gets lots of love outside the reviewers' circle. You know, our YouTube fragrance reviewers, most reviewers dislike this release. And I can see why. It's very interesting to see the variance of opinions between the reviewers and the people that watch them. It might be because the reviewers do know quite a bit of this line. You know, they might have smelt a lot more Issey Miyakes than some of their viewers and know that this brand can bring a lot more to the table. Well, now it's my turn. Issey Miyake, you're up to bat. Fragrance family, welcome to the Robe Zoe channel. I'm your host, Mark. Today, this is the end of the road for any fragrance on the Robe Zoe channel. It's a full-fledged review. Now, some come back on the channel just for a little party. They show up in top 20 lists, rightfully so. But some of them, it's the end of the road. They start collecting dust after this. So a review, what does it do? Well, it consists of months of testing. Proof's in the pudding. This is all testing, baby. And today I'm putting my nose on the house of Issey Miyake, a brand that actually has been releasing some fairly decent fragrances, especially darker stuff. They're getting to be known more for their darker stuff than the fresh stuff. It's a weird, it's a balanced fragrance house, I gotta say. This one is one of their fresh scents, which is called Le Majeure d'Issey. Now, they have a couple flankers that they've released after this, which one is called Super Majeure, that's a flanker, 2018. And then another one in 2019, which is called Le Majeure Shade of Sea, Day 3, 2:47 p.m. Yeah, what a great name. Reminds me of a Kenzo fragrance. I don't know why they name their fragrances like that. I'm sure there's a backstory to it. So the House of Issey Miyake, in a nutshell, on my channel. I reviewed the summer editions, 2008-2009, which 2009 is a gem. The classic Pour Homme and L'Eau Bleue. It's been well over 2 years now that I haven't done a proper Issey Miyake review on my channel. So the house is due for a full-fledged review on my channel. I'm currently testing L'Odyssée Noir Ambre, which is going to be next in line for a full-fledged review on my channel. But I'm going to show you, I'm going to pan you to some of the ones that I haven't reviewed yet. Let me know in the comments below which one of these left from my collection that you'd like to see reviewed. Now, before I get into the true meat and potatoes of this fragrance review, I gotta thank my partner in crime, FragranceX.com. For this fragrance, you can utilize my coupon code on their website. It's my YouTube handle. You can't miss it. Robes08. And you plop that in Fragrance X in their coupon section. You get 15% off. If you feel like purchasing this or anything from the House of Issey Miyake, they got tons of those, or basically anything that you put in your little cart. Now it's time for Chapter 1, Scent. Let's go under the hood. Let's take a look at release date was back in 2017. Concentration, this is in Eau de Toilette. Nose behind this one, two-headed monster, Aurélien Guichard et Fabrice Pellegrin. Resumes on both perfumiers, not bad. Guichard, Silver Factory, Play by Comme des Garçons, Gucci by Gucci, Gucci Intense Oud, Le Mal Terrible, Uomo, Unforgivable, and Eros. Pellegrin, Fuel for Life Spirit, Eau Duel, L'Insoumis, Oud Bouquet, just to name a few. So highly decorated perfumiers, I would have to say some that have done quite a bit in the men's aisle here. So olfactory group, this fragrance is a woody aromatic release. Now let's go into the notes. Let's take a look at the note breakdown. Up top, we have grapefruit bergamot. In the mid, we have Hedion. And in the back end, we got cedar, tonka bean, amberwood, and cashmeran. So the key notes to me would have to be the cashmeran and the grapefruit. Now let's delve into this one. Let's sniff it out. Again, it is my scent of the day, so I got the beautiful dry down all over me, but I want to remind myself of the introduction. So this fragrance hits me right off the bat, kind of metallic, very aromatic, and kind of salty in the same wave. Issey describes this scent as a pure ocean scent with driftwood in the waves. Now let me paint you a picture. I get the aquatic touch they're thinking about, but I feel like this one has some Azzaro Chrome tendencies here. And maybe it's the metallic gray cap that's reminding me of that, but it has that metallic, cold gray aquatic feel to the fragrance. Almost like the smell of the fuselage of a metal boat that has some seawater inside of it with a basket of grapefruit on the floor. That's what this smells like to me. No real sea quality, just a plain watery, salty vibe in a metal vessel. And I could see why they went gray with the presentation of this release. So up top, Le Majeure d'Issey is a hard pill to swallow. It just never meshed well with my skin. And this scent, since I got it and I gave it enough chances, this opening it's hard for me to really enjoy. The issue is the synthetic vibe it gives me, which Issey's aren't really the best in the game to paint you a picture, but they are very far from the worst in the game. This one missed the mark off the get-go, in my opinion. Highly synthetic opening. Sweet, salty amberwood with a cashmeran and grapefruit combo. There's a metallic tinge in this release here that is really the theme I was gravitating towards. Think Azzaro Chrome-ish. The scent in color feels light blue, meets the cap of the bottle here, kind of like a brushed metal look. The color scheme of the juice versus the bottle, bang on, like that blue tint in the gray cap, 100%. That's how I feel about this release up top. Now, the grapefruit in here gives the scent a citric tone. That's paired with the bergamot that helps that theme, but I'll have to say it's mostly grapefruit than bergamot, and it is a strong primary note up top, then it burns off quite quickly into the background. Le Majeure comes, to me, off the top, salty, cold, fresh, aromatic, citrusy, aquatic, gray, sharp, metallic, a little musky too. Now, don't get me wrong, I like the imagery of this. Like Azzaro Chrome tried it, Issey is trying it too. I just feel like I haven't met a fragrance that I really appreciate this idea. I really think this cold, metallic, blue, fresh theme can work. I just haven't found my scent. So now let's get into the heart and base of this release and see what it gives me in the back end. So moving towards the heart, you lose the personality of the citruses. That was going to happen, which gives this scent some much needed color. I like the color. The grapefruit kind of popped up top. It's not the best grapefruit in the game, but we're going to give it its props. It was given this scent, you know, it's blue and gray, and the grapefruit kind of gave it some pop. You lose the pop. It's linear. So most of the scent is cashmeran quality, and that is in the forefront now. The metallic quality pushes back a bit. It goes more into a musky ending. Certainly still has that salty vibe and that fuzzy woody tone. There's a certain floral quality here that reminds you that it's an Issey Miyake scent. You can't go away from that floral tone that Isseys are known for. But overall, it lost me right away. Like up top, it lost me. I tried. In some sense, hey, the top sucks and the back end is great. This one just never recovered. I feel like the back end's actually worse than the front end of the fragrance. Overall, Issey Miyakes are either hit or miss for me. This is a miss in my personal opinion. The more I wear it, the more I hate it. So some of my subs are telling me to go check out the Super Flanker. I might, just for you guys. Not sure if I will after this experience, to be quite honest. And again, these fragrance reviews, I'm going to lose about 10 subscribers now because I've said my honest truth on a particular fragrance. And I'm not going to sugarcoat it saying it's for this person, that person, but just not for me. It can be for you if you want, but for me personally, you're watching me for a reason. Nah. So overall, let's take a look at some ratings, uniqueness and scent. Uniqueness, 3 bottles out of 10. This is not a new theme. It actually kind of feels like a 90s release with all the things that are wrong in the current releases. So it took everything like a Cashmeran, that's terrible, I hate that, and took what's wrong with the modern releases now and kind of took a 90s release and kind of meshed it together. No, it just didn't work. Scent-wise, 4 bottles out of 10. This might be the worst Issey Miyake that I've smelt in my journey. 4. Now let's get into performance and feedback. We're going to start with my spray routine. Let me reach out for this one. I do my 1 on the chest just to clear the stem. So usually it's maybe a 3/4 spray or half spray depending on how long it's been sitting in the stem. And then 2 on the neck, so 1 on each side here. And then 2 on the arms. Usually if I'm wearing a long sleeve like this, for fragrance reviews, I roll them up so I can smell the dry down, but not anymore. I don't need it anymore. I've already talked about the scent. So that's my spray routine. So 5 sprays on this one is where I go with this one. Let's get into longevity, projection, and compliment factor. Let's start with longevity. How long does this thing last on my skin? I'm going to give it 5 bottles out of 10. It is 4 to 6 hours. Any given wearing, doesn't matter if it's warm, cold out. It'll give you that standard 4 to 6. Now let's move on to projection. Projection, 3 bottles out of 10. This thing stays close to the skin. And I've tried overspraying, underspraying. I've done everything I could with this one. Projection's very poor. It stays close to the skin. And that goes to compliment factor, 5 bottles out of 10. I've gotten some good feedback with this release wearing it, but not much. And I haven't gotten much negative feedback either. So it's right in the middle of the road. Now let's get into versatility on this one. Age range, you're looking at teens and up. Mostly the teenagers, the 20-somethings are going to gravitate towards this. This is already in bargain bins, so, but I could see somebody my age or older wearing this. It doesn't really have an age-appropriate release. It really is a versatile release, and that's what we're talking about, versatility right now. And that goes to seasons. The best seasons for this release would have to be spring and summer. I'd like to pinpoint more spring than summer, start of fall too, but it really is more of a, it's a little bulkier than your run-of-the-mill aquatic release. I feel like it has a little bit of depth to it. It wasn't doing too great in the high heat. I felt like if it was a little cool, it did very well. And that goes to night or day. This is more of a daytime release. You can wear this as your signature scent, your thing that you're going to wear to work. This is the type of release that really can be a signature scent. You can wear it all the time. And that goes to occasions. Very safe as a release. It's versatile, easy to wear in the office, dates, whatever you want. This thing can be worn at any time. So versatility, it's going to get a good score, 8 bottles out of 10. Highly versatile release. Now let's move on to value. Let's take a look at bottle sizes, pricing, availability, and all that good stuff. Let's go to bottle sizes available. This one's a 1.7 ounce, 1.6 fluid ounce, 50 mil, but there's the 3.4 ounce and the ultra rare 5 ounce bottles. Pricing, you're looking at a real variance here. $30 bargain bin, right up to $85 retail. So definitely do your research. All discounters have this thing, including beautifulfragrancex.com. They're going to kill me after watching this fragrance review. Ouch. Sorry, guys. Now on to availability. Still available. It has hit discounters, which is a good thing for all of us. Presentation. Let's take a look at the presentation. The bottle was designed by American Todd Brocker. He's the real star here because this Issey Miyake bottle, and showing you guys right now the brush metal look of the cap, the bubble look of the bottle actually is probably the best Issey Miyake form. It really looks very sturdy, and I wouldn't mind if they started utilizing this as their staple for their Issey Miyake men's bottles. He's the real star here. Todd, great job. Pricing versus quality. I'm going to give this one 3 bottles out of 10. The quality of the scent's not there. I've seen better from Issey Miyake. I don't see the worth here. And if it hasn't hit bargain bins yet, it will. This thing is something that I could see going down in price to the bottom pricing of all Issey Miyakes. So at the end of the day, let's take a look at positive, negatives, and my final thoughts on this release, and then give it a final score. So positives to take away. This one, easy to wear. I think it's something that if you have it, it's a good starter fragrance. It's versatile. You don't have to think about wearing it. Something that new heads may gravitate towards because they found it at discounters and they start liking the House of Issey Miyake. This could be your daily driver. So that is a definite positive that it could start your journey. Now the negatives to take away on this release. Smells like the 90s with a twist of all that's wrong right now in the designer game. I'm looking at you, Amberwood. I'm looking at you, Cashmeran. I'm looking at you, Ambroxan. You all suck. I'm going to get flagged on this review. I hate those. It's just everything I hate in releases. And this has that sprinkled into it with some 90s dust. It seems like an aged release and a new release at the same time. So my final thoughts. You know what's the best thing out of this whole fragrance review? The bottle is the best part of this scent. This is a beautiful Issey Miyake release. I'd love for Issey Miyake to change their bottle designs to the original line and implement this kind of bulb-like look, perhaps with a magnetic cap, and you win. You win. Now the scent itself smells like something that should have came out in the late 90s with a little Dylan Blue sprinkled on top of it. Early on, it was an okay scent when I first got it. I was like, okay, I see where they're going with this and maybe it'll work. I think the more time I wore it, the more I got bored of it, the more I hated testing this thing. And there's only certain many fragrances that I got a huge palette. You guys know, proof is in pudding. It's on the channel. When I get to that stage that I'm disliking what I'm wearing, and I wore a lot of it. It's not like I quit early. I just feel like this is a poor release from a brand that I feel is a higher tier brand. They're releasing some current bangers right now for their darker scents. They're doing great, but just to put it on camera here. Issey Miyake is known for their fresh scents, and they do some great fresh scents. Like I could name off a top 10 designer fresh scents and Issey Miyake of all time, and Issey Miyake might hold on to like 3 of those top 10 spots. I'm not joking. That is their bread and butter, but they're doing darker scents like no other right now. They're doing some great scents. So not to poo-poo the brand, but every brand's got their worst release, middle of the road release, and then some great bangers. So this, sadly, is at the back end for me, and I think it's one of their poorer releases. So my overall score for Le Majeure d'Issey by the House of Issey Miyake will have to be 3 bottles out of 10. Would I recommend it? No. Buy, try, or pass? No. Pass. This is a hard pass. If it's your first from Issey Miyake, you might not go back to the brand with this release, or maybe you're starting your journey with this. Please continue to check out Issey Miyake because they have better releases. You might get impressed with just the original L'Eau d'Issey. Check that one out, a classic. Now I'm done with this one. Have you smelt this one? I'd love to see your comments in the comments below. Share with the community what you think about this fragrance. Again, you don't have to agree with me. You can 100% disagree with me in the comments below. I'd love to see those comments because people that are interested in the scent, they're not going to just look at this mug. They're going to scroll down in the comments below. So your comment does count. And I will leave you with a few takes from my social media. I did ask everyone their thoughts on this one. So you're going to see that in the back end of this video. So keep it tuned in. You're going to see different ideas on this release. At the end of the day, A greater pour fragrance will make a lasting impression. Choose your scent wisely. Thanks for watching, YouTube. Have a good one.